Yeah, it's interesting, you know, how do you explain the business and where it's starting, where it's going? There's 50 stories to all of them. And, you know, the story I like to tell is that, you know, we're building an enterprise cloud for talent acquisition. We service the Fortune 500 clients, and we're trying to get to a point where job seekers can apply to jobs they have a good opportunity of getting, should they apply, and they can do so in a click. And employers can find someone who will perform well should they hire them, and they can do so in a click.
We live in a world of on-demand, so we're used to viewing, buying, consuming things on demand. And we're taking that notion to recruitment. We know that everybody carries their life around in their hands, so the tools that we create allow you to be found for the right job at the right time. And for employers, it means that you're, in an on-demand way, able to connect with the right talent at the right time.
A year ago, we were 20 people. Jump forward to today, we have 2,300 clients across the world, 580 people.
We're just growing so fast at the moment and running at 1,000 miles an hour. We feel like a start-up, but the reality is we're about 500 people and changing every single day.
Probably one thing that comes as quite a surprise to people is if they take a look at our website and realise the sorts of large blue chip Nasdaq companies that are actually investing in Findly's technology.
As you get bigger and bigger, you get lots more velocity, but it's quite difficult to make it good. So we believe that the way to make velocity made good in our business is to hire the right people.
Yeah, we're really looking for the best and brightest. We don't care what they've come from, we don't care what languages they have used. We're really looking for people who can apply themselves in a NoSQL cloud-based solution.
One of the great things about the workplace here is that there is actually a great and diverse skill set, so people are kind of learning every day from each other, and there's always opportunities to move into new fields.
There are a few choices in New Zealand where you can play with global players. You can have a team of 500 or 600 people behind you to support the stuff that you sell. We can offer you a place to come and still get that exposure on the global stage. If we could build our dream team tomorrow, it would be people that are passionate about building great product and people that are passionate about designing great product.
Our largest retail client has around 400,000 employees, which is the size of a small New Zealand city, and it presents us with some really decent-sized challenges.
The really interesting things about what we're doing is the scale of it. You know, working with 10 million active profiles in our hive, expecting to grow at 3 million a month. So there's some pretty big numbers there.
And that's one of the real challenges that we have, that we need to be able to scale up to tens of millions of people.
Yeah, I think one of the great things at Findly is that we have a really large and diverse team of developers, with people coming in from all over the world, a lot of people who are expats or coming from another country. That's really helping us as we're trying to grow bigger and bigger.
We have a few Russian people in here, and that's really great. I always have somebody to talk to in my native language.
We obviously do have a lot of cultures here, and they mix really well together. I think what they share is a love of social, and you know, what we do with our software is all about social and mobile.
The culture that we're trying to put in here is much like you see in this office, right? It's a respectful culture, but it's one that allows people to grow in their career.